Good morning. Yes, it is Saturday, our very first Saturday broadcast. I'm Gene. Welcome to Hanging with Uncle this October 19th. I think it's kind of important. I didn't want to wait all weekend because I think it's kind of important to understand what's going on in the D.C. Court with Tanya Chutkan presiding over the January 6th criminal trial of Cadet Bone Spurs. Well, let me have some get up and go. Because it harkens back to something we've talked about previously, and that is how to bring a case to trial or charge someone with a crime. So, law enforcement has to make a report, present it to prosecutors. Prosecutors make the decision to file a case and try the person accused of the crime. That's as basic as I can explain it. So, the Department of Justice and the DC cops, the Metro cops, all law enforcement that worked there on January 6th, everyone had to put paper on what happened that day from their account. There are police reports. All right. So the two ways you can bring a case against somebody are, number one, you can have a preliminary hearing. And that's what we used to call them in California. Your jurisdiction may call them something else. But basically, it means that you, the defendant, have the opportunity to sit down before a judge and listen to all the evidence presented against you, and the judge has to make a determination, yes, there is enough evidence to take this to trial. Then you go to trial court where a jury is selected if you want a jury trial, or a bench trial if you just want the judge to decide. The evidence is presented and the case is decided. When you do it that way, when you go the preliminary hearing route, it's open to the public. Everyone can see. There's nothing to hide, nowhere to go. So the second way to bring someone charges against someone is through a grand jury. Now, the grand jury process is secretive for a reason. We have no idea who the grand jurors are. It could be your next door neighbor. The little old lady who's out there tending her garden and watering her lawn could be a member of the grand jury. You would never know. And the grand jury hears the evidence without the defendant around, but everything is secretive, right? So think about it for a second. Do I want the decision made on if I should go to trial, do I want that to be a secret process, or do I want that to be a public process? If I'm running for president of the United States, I want that to be a private process because I don't want the public to have access to evidence against me. Because remember, a grand jury is secretive. We don't know what evidence is presented. We don't know what witnesses are called. We don't know who sits on the grand jury. And it's collective. It's 24 people, and I believe that 18 of them have to agree to bring charges. Leave the comment section below if I'm wrong, but it works something like that. And I know it doesn't have to be unanimous because there's so many grand jurors hearing the evidence. So regarding the January 6th case, Jack Smith, the special prosecutor, decided to go the private route and went to grand jury. So we have no evidence, knowledge, who said what they have, other than what's been presented in the media and what we know presented factually from reporters who get copies of court filings and present them to us and then interpret them for us on TV. If you have a credible news source, that's how they will present it. You know, they will actually have the court paperwork and show you so you know what the truth is. Um, so, Cadet Bonespurs, in his infinite wisdom, decided he was going to take it up to the Supreme Court on the grounds of immunity, and the Supreme Court said, "Well, yeah, we have to have uh, a hearing, an evidentiary hearing to decide what evidence you have to see does it match the standard of meeting immunity or not." So now it has to be done publicly. And yesterday, Judge Chutkan, presiding over the case in the DC court, hit publish. So now all the evidence, all the facts are out there. Prior to Election Day, you can sit down and read all the evidence against Cadet Bonespurs, what they have, because now it's not private anymore. Because the Supreme Court said you had to have an evidentiary hearing, which means it's now public. So, um, again, do you want to keep your head in the sand and just ignore it? Or are you going to be an educated voter? Read the 2,000 pages. I bet you don't even have to read that many just to go, wow, okay, I've seen enough. But the information is there. It's public now because the grand jury process has gone the way of the dodo. And that bonehead move was akin to Napoleon deciding to go into Waterloo. So you're not very intelligent. When you call someone else not very smart, look at the decisions he's made. And now everything that would have been private is now public. Moron. Anyway, that's all I have to say about this. Couldn't let this wait till Monday. And I hope you guys enjoy this information. If you have comments or questions, leave them in this, the comment section below. That's all I have for today. I'm Gene. Thank you for hanging with Uncle. Remember, please be kind to one another and treat each other the way you want to be